Hello. Begin transmission. The Garbage Pail Flix podcast show is now on the air. Hello. Back again with another GPF podcast. This is episode 10. Saturday morning extravaganza with special guest Tony Danza. Hello. Or, I know what you didn't do last summer, Hannah and Barbera. It's time to wrap up summer habits and get back to business where here in 2020, been a rough ride to say the least. But that's not slowing us down. No. With the slime and the mutagen and that we dig up here in this show.
Waiting forward to Chicago. Just 3 blocks away.
Pushes bad boy to 88 miles per hour. So let's get now and back to school. Way back to school.
It's time for Garbage Pail Flix. Garbage Pail Flix.
Chicago's very own.
Welcome. Once again. Today is no different, boys and girls. We're taking a look at some retro junk from film and TV animation in the nostalgia department at your local venture store. So grab some Orange Julius and
I suppose
we're gonna dig up a few gems from 1980 Midnight Madness. And as a double feature drive-in special, Pandemonium. Hang on! First things first, we're gonna dive head first into the trash.
And I found this segment is called
Man, I found this in the trash! If you don't want this, I'll keep it, man.
From the monsters of the past comes a new generation dedicated to reversing the evil image of their forefathers. Under the leadership of none other than Count Dracula, known as Big D, 3 teenagers form the do-gooder group, named the Drac Pack. With special powers, they can transform into super mighty monsters and use their skills against all evildoers, especially the diabolical Dr. Dread and his renegade rascals Toad, Fly, Mummyman, and Vampira, a group known as Ogre, the organization of generally rotten enterprises. It's right versus wrong, good over greed, niceness against naughtiness. That's the dedication of the terrific trio, Frankie, Howler, and Drac Jr., the Drac Pack.
The Drac Pack, to kick things off. 1980, the Drac Pack. There's 16 episodes of this Saturday morning on CBS, September through December 1980.
Saturday, watch out when that crazy wabbit pops in on the Bugs Bunny Roadrunner show. Next, Popeye pops up for more fun on the all-new Popeye Hour. Then, open up for laughs on Drac Pack, where monsters are the good guys and the bad guys are a riot. Catch it Saturday on CBS.
So Hanna-Barbera, God bless Lee and Hannah and Joe Barbera for creating yet another classic. 3 teenage friends put their hands together and shout wacko. They transform into descendants of Dracula, Frankenstein, and the Wolfman. Now dedicated to reversing the evil image of their ancestors, this new generation of crime-fighting monsters, Drac Jr., Frankie, and Howler, band together as the Drac Pack. For the first time on DVD, this classic Saturday morning cartoon follows the adventures of a threesome as they travel around in their Dragster vehicle and use their newfound supernatural and animalistic powers to foil the diabolical plot of Ogre, O-G-R-E, the organization of generally rotten enterprise. Led by the blue-skinned Dr. Dread and his cohorts Toad, Money Man, The Fly, and
Now
Vampire.
hear this. As head of the organization of generally rotten endeavors, I am demanding that all Ogre members report to me, Dr. Dread, immediately.
So in this Hanna-Barbera outing, you have
You guys have been out in the sun too long.
3 teenagers that are descendants from monsters, Wolfman, Dracula, Frankenstein, Drac Jr. And when they give a big high five, they turn into their counterparts. And yes, Dracula himself, the OG, is in this. They call him Big D, which is amusing as hell to me.
It works.
So Big D mentors the 3, and is Drac Jr., but Dracula is not his dad, it's his uncle.
How do you explain
Get it? Got it? Good. And they fight the evil Dr. Dread,
Devastating ditch, Dr.
who's voiced by Skeletor, Alan Oppenheimer.
Yes, Dr. Dread, in the world of crime, you have a lot of sinister pull.
In each episode, they fly around in a dragster car, chasing Dr. Dread and his organization.
Your giant-sized evil machine.
Some episode titles include Color Me Dreadful, Mind Your Manners, Dr. Dread, Happy Birthday, Dr. Dread, Dreadful Weather We're Having, Dr. Dread, Dread Goes to Hollywood, Dr. Dread is a shrinker. What the fuck? Is this Dread Pack or the Dr. Dread Funtime Hour?
And they call me a toady.
The Dread Pack.
Dr. Dread, he should have his own spin-off, or did he? If I have to look at Drac Jr.'s resting bitch face for one more minute.
I'm getting a little burned up myself. I haven't had my turn yet.
Cliff! Here come his friends, a trio of creeps. Dingbat, blah, blah, the vampire dog, Spare-Rib, the skeleton, and that jack-o'-lantern of all trades, Nobody. It's the Heathcliff and Dingbat Show.
And moving right along, we have Dingbat and the Creeps, 1980. Dingbat and the Creeps was like a side cartoon that was shown with Heathcliff and Marmaduke, and mostly what I remember as a kid, I remember this being shown with reruns of Plastic Man Comedy Adventure
The
Show.
Plastic Man Comedy Adventure Show, starring the longest arm of the law, Plastic Man, with Mighty Man and the world's ugliest dog, Yuck, and featuring the wiliest cat ever to nab a mouse or outsmart a dog, Heathcliff.
Rickety Rocket!
Rocket through the future with Rickety and his gang of mystery-solving masterminds. Then there's more merry adventures with Plaz, Wife Penny, and Baby Plaz. It's the oddest assortment of oddballs, Dingbat and the Creeps. We'll see Marmaduke, canine wonder of the world. More mysteries with Fangface and Fangpuss, the wildest werewolf of them all. And Goldie Gold, who with Action Jack and all the money in the world captures the strangest assortment of criminals ever seen. It's the Plastic Man Comedy Adventure Show. Don't go away.
So if you dig real deep,
It's gonna take us hours to dig it out.
you can probably remember this as well. Before the Heathcliffs and the Cadillac Cats, that was like 84, 85.
This creeper tan lotion ought to put some color in my bones.
Larry Dingbat and the Creeps had such a great voice cast. Bugs Bunny himself, Mel Blanc.
You call that big one. Blah, blah, bling.
Really an all-star voice actor cast of Don Messick, June Foray, Frank Welker, because you know he's in literally everything, every cartoon to this day.
Out of here, you creepy creeps! From now on, I'm going straight!
At least we got rid of him.
Yeah, now we can relax and have a whale of a time.
Dingbat and the Creepy Creeps went on for about 13 episodes where we followed them Dingbat the vampire dog, Spare Rib the skeleton who could change into shit and stuff, and my favorite, Nobody, the jack-o'-lantern dude with little sneakers on, who acts like the leader, yet it's titled Dingbat and the Creeps. Should be called Nobody and the Creeps and Creepers. Right? Right. The titles of these 13 episodes included UFOs, Retail Ruckus, Beach Blanket Bozos, which is the only one I ever found, Carnival Cut-Ups.
Yeah, and a couple of whoppers don't hurt either.
Like I said, the only one I ever found was Beach Blanket Bozos, found on YouTube. Other than that, no DVDs, no VHSs, no streaming, only found on YouTube in Italian. You can find episodes in Italian. I guess I'll just have to brush up on my Italian. Dingbat and the Creeps, Cartoon A!
Dingbat, get out here, you scaredy bat!
Truly a lost relic among cartoons. And speaking of cartoon relics, does anybody remember the Addams Family cartoons? There's a few different incarnations over the years, including a Hanna-Barbera cartoon or two in there. The first appearance was in a Scooby-Doo adventure, though, part of Scooby-Doo's movies, one of the many Scooby-Doo incarnations.
Today, Scooby-Doo meets the Addams Family.
The Scooby-Doo crossover was just that. It was just a crossover, another crossover with Scooby-Doo and the gang. But at least it was the original television cast providing the voices.
Now I know why this house looked so familiar. It belongs to the Addams Family.
You're right. I've seen it on TV lots of times.
Look, Tish, Lurch has come through.
Darling, sweet Lurch, new housekeepers.
And look who's coming towards us. The Addams Family in person.
Hello there. Welcome to our humble home. I'm Gomez.
And I'm Morticia.
Lurch.
And I'm Wednesday.
And I'm Pugsley.
And I'm Fester. And I'm leaving.
But then they had their own series spin-off shortly after that, with most of the original voice cast from the TV series, including John Astin, aka Gomez.
Off, of course.
Gomez and I have looked forward so to our weekend in the Okefenokee Swamp.
But
3 glorious, fun-filled days.
Lurch, voiced by the original Ted Cassidy.
Hey, Lurch, I've got one thing to say to you.
And Jackie Coogan coming back to reprise his famous Uncle Fester voice. And sadly, Carolyn Jones, the beloved Morticia Addams, was only able to reprise her voice role in the Scooby-Doo cameo.
Oh, yes, and shake hands with Thing.
Although in the 1970s incarnation, on their solo TV show, not the Scooby-Doo one, because John Astin did do Gomez in the Scooby-Doo version, Gomez was voiced by Lenny Weinrib, who you might remember from stuff. No, you probably remember him maybe from Magic Mongo, or one of the numerous voices he did on Hanna-Barbera cartoons throughout the decades. This famous voice actor did Gomez no justice, as he just did it over the top. Just did it very over the top.
Oh, can you forgive me, Carita? I thought you were in the arms of a strange man.
Gomez.
I guess after all, this is the incarnation version of the cartoon where Hanna-Barbera, you did it again. Drove around with the house was also their car, or the house turned into a car vehicle. Yeah.
That's Cousin It.
Sadly, they wouldn't return altogether for the 1990s incarnation cartoon.
Morticia, how could you? You're a married woman.
The show from the 90s ran on Saturday mornings, one of their last Saturday morning lineups, I'm sure. Circa 1992.
house is a museum where people come to see 'em. They really are a scream, the Addams Family. Neat, sweet, petite. So get a witch's shawl on, a broomstick you can crawl on. We're gonna pay a call on the Addams Family. They're creepy and they're kooky, mysterious and spooky. They're all together rookie, the Addams Family.
Not really much to say about the premise. If you've seen the Addams Family, that's the premise of the cartoons. It pretty much follows the TV series, or the movies, or whatever you've seen of the Addams Family. That's what the cartoons are.
Ah, another successful joust.
Karamia, we're next. Lurch, my jousting helmet. Thank you, Lurch. Good luck, Tish.
The same to you, my darling.
But the 70s animated show lacked. The 90s version was more like the TV series.
Oh, come in.
I don't believe it! I won the joust!
Son, I don't believe how low you stooped to beat your sister.
We're both so proud of you.
The 1970s Hanna-Barbera cartoon, also the 90s version, is terribly hard to find, or is terribly, hauntingly expensive.
Oh, great. This is just great.
Are you upset because Lurch got the best of you, old boy?
No, I went to all that trouble and my horse cycle didn't even explode. Ah!
I'm guessing if you are as wealthy as the Addams or Richie Rich or something, you can afford it. I simply wanted to cap this off and mention the Addams Family cartoons, because they are very rare. And I like to say incarnation. Incarnation. Until next time, we have more ooky kooky, mysterious, and spooky stuff we find in the trash.
The world looks mighty good to me, 'cause Tootsie Rolls are all I see. Whatever it is I think I see becomes a Tootsie Roll to me. Tootsie Roll, how I want your chocolatey chew. Tootsie Roll, I think I'm in love with you. Whatever it is I think I see becomes a Tootsie Roll to me.
You can have fun painting with Mario and Toucan Sam too, with squeezable paints from Kellogg's Fruit Loops. One free brush with up to 3 proofs.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Give me a break, give me a break. Break me off a piece of that Kit Kat bar. Give me a break, give me a break. Break me off a piece of that Kit Kat bar.
Let's jump on board the bandwagon and celebrate. We just can't be late. Oh no! We've got a rare mix of pomegranate stew on the one and only USA Cartoon Express. Why, it's Huckleberry Hound and friends. We've gathered together the best of the best. They're all our very special guests. Don't crowd me now. Move away. I was just getting to the introductions. Pixie and Dixie, Snagglepuss, Pokey Wolf, Yacky Doodle. Doodle with a paper and pencil, please. This is the finest crew that can be found, so take it away, Huckleberry Hound.
Guess who? Game cards do not actually talk.
On That's Incredible, beginning Monday, September 24th on TV 15.
This show has my vote. Don't miss the boat. Don't dote over that goat. This is the red hot USA Cartoon Express.
We have something a little bit different, a little bit special. We have a special guest, retro 80s icon, star of television and film, Tony Danza. Thanks for coming, Tony.
I love it in the morning.
I really appreciate that. Thanks. Big star like you tuning in. I mean, wow. Hey, yeah, Tony Danza, the Danza, yeah.
I love it in the evening. Lunchtime doesn't sound too bad either. It's on my mind every
Oh yeah, thanks. That means a lot.
I want, because for me.
Right. Yeah. So what are you doing these days?
It's just a little.
You did Who's the Boss, Taxi, did movies.
Then all we gotta do is eat more apples. We'll eat right through
And apples? No apples.
then how do we get new apples, John?
No, that's Chuck, not Johnny. Yeah, I don't think we have apples.
Tell the truth, for me, I love it in the morning. It's easy to get. I love it in the evening. Lunchtime doesn't sound too bad.
Yeah, you already said that. You mentioned that.
I can have it anytime I want because for me, it's so easy to get.
So the vacuum, who's the boss? I mean, like, was it heavy? I mean, it looked heavy. I mean, it wasn't, was it weight to it? Oh, okay.
First guy who ever walked on the moon sitting in my cab. Neil Armstrong.
Oh, bellissimo.
So you actually drive a taxi in real life? You didn't just drive a taxi on the show. You actually drove a taxi.
I love it in the morning.
In real life.
I love it in the evening.
I thought it was
Lunchtime
just.
doesn't sound too bad either.
All right.
It's on my mind every day of the week.
This ain't no rock. This is a piece of the moon.
No. You keep the rock, Mr. Danza.
I can have it anytime I want.
You can keep that. Yeah.
It's so easy to get. All it takes. Stir a little.
All right. All right. Hey, no, wait.
I can have it
you know what? Interview's over. Interview's stop. No, interview's over.
Cafe cappuccino.
Dinner at my mother's.
I don't care where you have to go. Just go. Yeah, I'm done now. Yeah, sorry about that. Sorry about that. I'll be right back. Yeah, be right back.
Come on, kids, we all know who the real bosses are on Who's the Boss? Weekdays at 4:30 on UPN Power 50.
Now, friends, I know you'll enjoy a demonstration of my new television receiver. You not only hear the broadcast, but you actually see it on this screen.
Whenever friends drop in to dinner,
I have a spot of Crystal Cream, talking all night. I have a spot of Crystal Cream, drinking the drink that's socially right. Harvey's Crystal Cream.
It's terribly, terribly.
Very, very.
Upper.
Like it rusty.
Upper crusty.
Harvey's chérie.
your palace or mine.
It is possible to travel back in time, to breathe new life into past civilizations.
Twizzlers candy makes mouths happy.
Mouth any good to eat.
Strawberry flavored, a juicy treat. Twizzler,
To eat.
twist them in a coil. Twist, tie them in a knot.
Eat 'em bite by bite by bite.
Chew, chewy, chew.
Twizzlers candy, lots in every pack. Twizzlers makes mouths happy.
Swatch. Always different. Always new. Fashionable. Water resistant. Shock resistant. Swiss made. Swatch. The new wave in Swiss watches.
LittleMonstersPrinting.com. The VHS Tapeyard.
Never before has one motion picture dared to bring to the screen
Which way to the cheerleader camp?
pandemonium.
Give me a T! I'm gonna have fun. I'm gonna wear makeup. I'm gonna go out with boys. I'm gonna sleep with truck drivers. Give me an A!
When you're away at camp, don't ever touch yourself, or you'll go blind.
Son! Son!
Give me an N!
Always.
I fold. Too rich for my blood.
Give me a...
I'm Sergeant Reginald Cooper of the Royal Canadian Menades.
Give me a Mo! Oh! Ow! Give me an Eom! Stewardess, my coffee is cold.
This is Pandemonium.
This is the incredible story of the night. All heck broke loose.
Easy, Bob, easy, Bob, easy, Bob.
Okay, Warden. Into the gas chamber.
Oh, no.
Yeah. That's right.
Listen, here at the House of Bad Pies, we got everything.
Could I have the Three Stooges pie, please? Thank you.
This must be the act of a maniac.
Excuse me for saying this, but you must be very stupid.
Ow! What kind of treatment have you used with this man?
You are frightened of the night?
Baloney.
You are frightened of baloney? Police! Hey, police!
This motion picture by any other name would still be Pandemonium!
Pandemonium, 1982. Tagline on the back here of the DVD I have is Frenzied Fun and Comic Convulsions. What happens when the entire cheerleading squad of Had to Be You, that's Had to Be and then You, like university, is skewered by one of the mysteriously thrown javelin. You've entered the wacky world of Pandemonium, a hilarious horror spoof featuring a wild collection of superstar comics. Tom Smothers, Judge Reinhold, Carol Kane, Deborah Lee Scott, and Paul Reubens, Pee Wee Herman star in the frantic and funny film with off-the-wall cameos by Tab Hunter. Oh, geez, Tab Hunter. Eve Arden. No, not Eve Arden. And Kay Ballard. Oh, Kay Ballard. I love her. A crazed killer is on the loose, and cheerleaders are the target. It's up to Cooper the Mountie and his faithful sidekick Bob the Horse to track him down. Was it the Peter Lorre-like groundskeeper and his weird mother, that cheerleader reject who was scorned by the other girls? Or could it have been the deranged murderer who escaped from prison? Even Bob the Horse is a suspect in this mad mosaic of comic mayhem, a hysterical collision of uproarious happenings and loony characters. Pandemonium is guaranteed to leave you weak with laughter. Whew. Wow. Pandemonium, hot damn. This movie right here, I've been searching for this movie forever. And I came across it by searching for alternate movies with one of my favorite actors of all time, Paul Reubens, aka Pee Wee Herman. And this came up as one of his earlier films. After about 5 years, I finally stumbled across a video online of Commander USA showed it.
Beware, for he is Commander USA! Far below a teeming shopping mall, Commander USA enters his video vault to bring you action, adventure, and zany non-stop thrills in Commander USA's Groovy Movies! Today's Groovy Movie...
Frickin' movie, Pandemonium, that eluded me. It's totally worth the wait. Because I'm a sucker for satire, spoofs, and schlock movies. When done correctly to the formula of, Naked Gun, Airplane, Spaceballs. And in the late 70s, early in the 80s, there was a string of movies that satirized horror in the spirit of, or Saturday the 14th. And films like Full Moon High or Student Bodies, and now, Pandemonium, which is sort of a spoof on, I guess, Carrie and other slasher movies. Directed by Alfred Soule, who also directed a more serious tone cult horror movie titled Alice, Sweet Alice. Pandemonium is a little bit more slapsticky, a little bit more schlocky.
Mandy's hobbies include sewing, tap dancing, and pygmy war rituals.
right out the gate, you get a cheerleader kebab. Someone took a javelin and made a kebab out of all the cheerleaders in this high school. And kind of reminds me of another movie, something about the millipedes. Anyways.
I don't want you scaring my cheerleaders away with those stories.
Can't we tell them the one about the mass murderer who escaped from the prison?
No.
Can we tell them about the psychopath who escaped from asylum?
No.
What about the waitress and the donkey?
Well.
To round up the cast, we have the likes of Judge Reinhold, who plays a rich kid, surprise, surprise. He has platinum, almost white hair, almost unrecognizable Judge Reinhold in this movie.
We have very high hopes for
one of the Smothers brothers.
Like your brother Jimmy, the black sheep of the family. Well.
And Carol Kane from Transylvania 65000, License to Drive, Scrooged, who plays the Carrie type role from the movie, Stephen King's Carrie.
You mustn't go to that evil camp with those cheerleaders. Oh, everyone will see your dirty pillows.
Those aren't dirty pillows, Mama. They're breasts.
Not those. Those are titties. Those are dirty pillows.
Those aren't my dirty pillows, Mama. They're his dirty pillows.
They're not dirty pillows. They're breasts.
Butt out.
Indeed, pandemonium.
It's now Johnson, sir.
Johnson?
Johnson!
We also get cameos from Phil Hartman, along with other Pee-wee's Playhouse alumni, John Paragon, Zombie, and Missy Vaughn, Marie Lynn Stewart, and of course Phil Hartman, like I said, Captain Carl, Phil Hartman. This is before, Pee-wee's Playhouse. You had all these people in the same movie. Pandemonium. And of course you had Paul Rubens.
I do everything around here. The cooking, the cleaning. What does Bob do? The washing and the ironing. Big deal.
Get the warden on the phone for me, will you please?
Now it's phone calls too. What's the matter with him? Break a hoop or something, dog!
Who's actually in this quite a bit and is really funny. With the Smothers Brothers character and a horse. They play Canadian Mounties investigating this murder. And
Which way to the cheerleader camp?
all done with the silliest of silly. They point out the body count as the people get killed. And this also reminded me of something they did in Student Bodies, where every time the slasher or murderer goes and kills somebody, they put the number on the screen of what number kill that is. Because I, for one, am keeping count while I'm watching.
How many times have I told you? You're not a chicken. You're not a chicken. You're a cat. Now go in there and get rid of those mice.
Some very odd scenes in this movie, but funny, but just off the wall.
Ah, Bob. Homesick for Canada. Hey, Bob?
One girl gets killed by brushing her teeth, and a hand comes through the mirror and chokes her as she's brushing her teeth for like 5 minutes.
Beef. Homemade mashed potatoes with gravy, a hot roll, 2 garden fresh vegetables steamed to perfection, and an oven fresh pastry.
That sounds delicious. I'll have that.
1 piece of shit!
And then we fly, and there's another scene where another girl gets killed, and she's taking a bath in milk and cookies, and she's dipping cookies and eating the cookies out of the milk bathtub. Very, very bizarre.
Okay, what do you want? Listen, here at the House of Bad Pies, we got everything.
What's bad today?
Well, the meatloaf looks pretty bad, but I recommend the roast chicken. It's horrible.
Do you have anything that's real bad?
There's Tuesday special.
What's so bad about that?
Today's Thursday.
Just a classic horror comedy. And to see Pee Wee Herman argue with a horse doesn't get any better than that, does it?
I'm Joe Flaherty. What's your name, stranger?
I'm Candy.
Hi, I'm Joe Flaherty. Say, what's your name, stranger?
Candy's the name, John Candy, and I'll be appearing in Cursed with Charisma.
I'll say, isn't that an episode on my series, Really Weird Tales?
You got that right, friend. And you'll see it right here on HBO.
How much is that going to cost me?
The beauty of it is you can do it for no money down.
Cursed with Charisma. Tomorrow on HBO.
Like 2,000 of these Honey, I Shrunk the Kids cups. See, I'm on the cup because I'm in the movie. Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. It's great. It's from Disney, and it's playing now at a theater near you. That's why I'm on the cup.
The cups are free when you buy any McDonald's supersized soft drink, like Coca-Cola.
Okay, I'll have 2,000 supersized soft drinks. It's hot out. I'm thirsty.
Well, actually, there are 3 different cups.
I'm a little partial to the Rick Moranis cup. What do you think? Does it look like me?
Collect all 3 cups, only at McDonald's.
Do you have a big tray?
USA. The remote stops here for tunes.
All aboard the Cartoon Express.
You pay the ticket, and you take the ride.
Mr. Bucket!
That's right. I'm Mr. Bucket. I'm Mr. Bucket.
Fuck it.
Toss your balls in my top. I'm Mr. Bucket.
Fuck it.
Out of my mouth and we'll pop. I'm Mr. Bucket.
Fuck it.
We're all gonna run. I'm Mr. Bucket.
Fuck it.
The game's Mr. Bucket. The first to get their balls into Mr. Bucket wins, but look out, because the balls will pop out of his mouth.
I'm Mr. Bucket.
Fuck it.
The balls pop out of my mouth. I'm Mr. Bucket.
Fuck it.
A ball is what I'm about. I'm
Fuck
Mr.
it.
Bucket. We're
Fuck
all
it.
gonna run. I'm Mr. Bucket.
Fuck it.
Mr. Bucket from Milton Bradley.
Fuck it.
For all your printing needs, all your media, littlemonstersprinting.com.
Anyway, here we go. This segment is called the Junk Pile. This is where Alright. Let's dig into some cartoon junk. And more specific, cartoon theme songs. Because today's Junk Pile, we're going to tickle your ears. We're going to run down some of the greats from 1980 to 1985. Because a huge part of animated series and cartoons, especially in the 80s, was the theme songs. They stick in your head and they fester and they never stop. We're going to run down some of the best or most forgotten theme songs from cartoons past. So let's go ahead and just dig deep here.
Wonder Woman. Batman and Robin. Aquaman.
The 1980 series that spun off a million different spin-off cartoons. The Super Friends. Yeah, the original Super Friends.
Form the world's greatest force, dedicated to truth, peace, and justice for all mankind. These are the Super Friends.
From 1980. And of course, a favorite from 1980. Richie Rich. Hanna-Barbera's classic.
Richie Rich!
And before Scrooge McDuck, there was Richie Rich. Let's move along to 1981. Yeah. One of my all-time favorite cartoons, Danger Mouse.
He's the greatest. He's fantastic. Wherever there is danger, he'll be there. He's the ace. He's amazing. He's the strongest. He's the quickest. He's the best. Danger Mouse. Danger Mouse. Danger Mouse.
Of course, from 1981. The other Super Friends, Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends. One of the first popular Marvel cartoons, Spider-Man, of course.
And His Amazing Friends, Iceman and Firestar.
Battling against the Green Goblin and anyone else that decided to fuck with Spider-Man.
Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends.
And rolling along 1982. wasn't too much going on in 1982. There was a lot of Hanna-Barbera stuff, and which is not a bad thing because Hanna-Barbera's theme songs were just as good as the cartoons themselves. Some of those titles Hanna-Barbera released were Shirt Tales, a forgotten classic cartoon. I'm gonna have to cover it one day. In the animated cartoon Pac-Man, based on the video game, obviously. And there was a slight difference between Pac-Man's cartoons, because he had his own cartoon, and then he also showed the bill on a Hanna-Barbera joint with Richie Rich, Pac-Man, and the Little Rascals cartoons. They used to package cartoons in the 80s, 70s, and 80s. They would, Hanna-Barbera especially, just package cartoons together and put like 3 different cartoons into one, just to trick kids into thinking they're getting more bang for their buck when they're watching cartoons and eating their Mr. T cereal.
Hence the mystery. On my show, the best show, Mr. T.
And coming up for 1983... all-time classic and a favorite of many, Inspector Gadget. One of many other titles to bust out in 1983, of course, Masters of the Universe.
And the Masters of the Universe. I am Adam, Prince of Eternia and defender of the secrets of Castle Grayskull.
I'll turn you into a suitcase.
This is Cringer,
You
my fearless
overgrown
friend.
alley cat.
Fabulous secret powers
Big
were
moron.
revealed to me the day I held aloft my
you
magic
fool.
sword and said, "By the power of Grayskull!"
You tin-tongued dolt! I'm talking about my patience, not my body. You furry flea-bitten fool! I'll cover my throne with
cat, and I became
bitten hairbrain.
the most powerful man in the universe.
Muscle boy. You muscle-bound oaf.
Only 3 others share this secret.
Brainless idiots.
Our
You
friends,
couldn't
the
even beat a
sorcerers,
motley
and
group of gnomes.
Together we defend Castle Grayskull from
Don'ts!
the evil
Half-wits!
forces of Skeletor.
With fools, even the robots are smarter than you. You meatheads, rumbling, rumbling.
Alright, that's enough. Or how about Alvin and the Chipmunks?
Watch out, 'cause here we come. It's been a while, but we're back with style, so get set to have some fun. We'll bring you action and satisfaction. We're the Chipmunks. C-H-I-P-M-U-N-K. We're the Chipmunks. Guaranteed to brighten your day. When you feel like a rat, give us a call. We'll give you our all. And if you feel like a song, tune into us and sing right along. We're the Chipmunks. Coming on stronger than ever before. We're the Chipmunks. Alvin, Simon, Theodore. Doot, 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 doot.
Or the forgettable, no one remembers the
I have a
Littles.
special secret. I'm the only one who knows about tiny people living in our walls called the Littles. Somebody's coming.
Come home, kids.
And as we rolled into 1984, who can forget Heathcliff and the Cadillac Cats?
Heathcliff, no one should terrify their neighborhood. But Heathcliff just won't be undone, playing pranks on everyone. There's a race to be on time, the competition doesn't stop. Mixing with the ladies fair, being charming, debonair. The game will reign supreme, and no one can deny. They'll make them history, and always have an alibi. So join in the jubilee. The cats are great, they'll all agree. Find in each calamity the cat's superiority. Cats and company have fun, playing pranks on everyone. New adventures every day, the cats will always get their way. There's a race to be on time, the competition doesn't stop. Mixing with the ladies fair, being charming, debonair. The game will reign supreme, and no one can deny. They'll make them history, and always have an alibi. So join in the jubilee. The
And overseas you had Trapdoor.
Hello, children. Want to hear a nice bedtime story? Creepy, crawly, slimy things that stick onto your skin. Horrid beasts with tentacles that want to pull you in. Wormy worms, slugs, and snails that lie there in a goo. They'll wait down there forever till they get their hands on you. Open that trap door! You're a fool if you dare! Stay away from that trap door! 'Cause there's something down there. And it's not nice. Big bad ghosts that scream all night and ghosts that moan all day. Don't try to look for a scary spook, it'll blow your mind away. Take my word, I speak the truth, there's an evil behind that door. You take the plunge into that gunge, we won't see you no more. Open that trap door! You're a fool if you try! Stay away from that trap door! You'll be saying bye-bye.
But back over on these seas, we had video games popping off. 1984 and 85 were huge for Atari games, and Pole Position had its own cartoon. And the theme song,
From now on, like your parents were, you are the secret force of Pole Position.
They're moving real fast, they're the only ones who can get there on time.
Okay, sis.
And never too far behind, they are always fighting crime.
Stop time, Dan. Ready when you are, Rhodey.
In the danger zone. Pretty soon they'll be off on a mission.
Hydrofoil mode, Rhodey.
Hydrofoil engaged, Dan.
What's behind this?
Hovercraft, quick!
What's behind this show? Only there are the knows. Sit back and watch them go. Help, 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 help.
1985, my favorite year. So much happened in 85. Back to the Future was released. The Chicago Bears won the Super Bowl, and we got great, awesome, radical, bodacious cartoons like Mask.
Masked crusaders working overtime, fighting crime, fighting crime. Secret raiders who will neutralize soon as they arrive. The soundtracker's gonna lead the mission, and Spectrum's got such supervision. Mask is the mighty power that can save the day. Mask, no one knows what lies behind their mask charades. Mask, always riding on Venom's trail. Come see the laser rays. Find a way.
Of course, they were turning every property or iconic character into a cartoon, so we got Hulk Hogan's Rock and Wrestling. And along with Hulk Hogan, we got a Punky Brewster cartoon, which was super weird, but not as weird as the Gary Coleman cartoon. One of my personal all-time favorites, Hanna-Barbera.
It's Yogi's Treasure Hunt. Fantastic. Fantastic. Fantastic.
Now you're gonna get a riddle. You're gonna get a clue. Wanna know where the treasure is? The answer's up to you. Looking for a future, looking for some fun. The gang is ready, so get on board. We're gonna take a trip. Looking for treasure in the strangest places. Riddles and mysteries, fantastic. Gonna get a riddle, gonna get a clue. Put it all together, it's up to you.
Fantastic Treasure Hunt. It's fun.
Thundercats? I hope you enjoyed this audio stroll down memory lane, because Saturday morning cartoons, and just cartoons in general, were very important in the 1980s and 90s. Okay, I think I just farted, so we should go. Let's get out.
From the depths, 30 stories high, breathing fire, his head in the sky. Godzilla, 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 and Godzilla.
More action, adventure, and all the rest on the USA Cartoon Express.
Can't get enough of that golden crisp.
Sugar Bell's after my golden crisp cereal. He'll never find me in ancient China.
Gotta have it, oh honorable Granny.
Never!
Great wall, but nothing comes between my tummy and the honey sweet crunch of golden crisp.
It's part of a complete breakfast.
Introducing the Sugar Bear Store. You can get a cool t-shirt, watch, and more, free with proofs of purchase plus postage and handling. Details on marked boxes of Golden Crisp cereal.
McDonald's is turning back time a few million years. So starting Friday, you can go back to bedrock for Flintstones fun and mammoth values.
Welcome to McDonald's. May I chisel your order?
What? Blue Nile.
Dangerous territory, men. Guards on. Gadzooks! Saved again by my sports card.
Rugby.
Hey, what's that? Oof.
Oi, pile on, right?
Right, good fly, mate.
We shout away.
May I help you?
Yes, Whoa, Stop like this.
Six Flags Great America has 6 big reasons to visit this summer. The all-new roller coaster Viper, a dazzling new international stage show Meaty, Hollywood-style thrills of the Batman stunt show, out-of-this-world fun on Space Shuttle America, Bugs Bunny's Yukon Adventure, all new fun for kids, and the incredible heart-pounding Batman the Ride. Make a day now for new excitement and family fun at the theme park bigger than Disneyland and closer to home. Six Flags Great America.
Venture into the Tapeyard. The VHS Tapeyard. Let's dig up some tape.
Midnight Madness, the ultimate game that requires sophisticated strategy and rigorous self-control. Midnight Madness, it's about girls.
I thought you'd never ask.
It's contagious. It's Midnight Madness. Catch it at a theater near you.
Midnight Madness! 1980! Midnight Madness. Back at the VHS I have. I'm going to explain the VHS I have. I love it because it is not, let's just say it wasn't released by the rat. The mouse got a hold of this and now has the rights. So they released another version on DVD of it. But this is an Anchor Bay version, so it's untouched, uncut. Michael J. Fox's big screen debut, Midnight Madness. See the city of Los Angeles cringe as 23 college students embark on the wildest adventure of their lives. The Great All-Nighter, this dusk till dawn competition, dreamed up by an eccentric graduate student, matches up 5 teams of students in a fierce battle to become #1 on campus. Michael J. Fox, Stephen Furst, and David Naughton, all involved in a mad race through the Hollywood Wax Museum, International Airport, Long Beach Pike, Pabst Brewery, and Starwood Disco. Join the non-stop fun as darkness approaches and Midnight Madness begins. Listeners out there, I'm going to be straight up here. I had to dig deep into the Tapeyard today, just a little deep, and dig up this gem for my 10th episode, because it is truly my favorite movie of all time. A lost gem among obscure and wacky flicks from the era. Midnight Madness can only be compared to maybe Rat Race, Mad World, stuff like that. The VHS stated, it stars David Naughton, aka My Werewolf Transformation is the Best. And another werewolf, ironically, Michael J. Fox, Teen Wolf himself. Other notable actors, Stephen Furst, Animal House and the Dream Team, Maggie Roswell, who was the voice on The Simpsons as Maud Flanders, John Fiedler, who's the voice of Piglet, and coming full circle, Paul Rubens, cameo, Eddie Deezer from such 80s great films as Surf 2, Beverly Hills Vampire, and voice actor extraordinaire Because if anything, this show has taught me is that our beloved character actors from the 80s and 90s all went on to become voice actors. So the scene is a college campus, and you have two adorable girls on roller skates. Roller skating their hearts from 1979 into 1980, and handing out different color envelopes to different students. A football player get a green envelope. A bookish-looking fellow with glasses is handed a white envelope. A sorority girl putting up decorations is handed a red envelope. And a rather portly gentleman in a drive-in restaurant is handed a blue envelope. And finally, the yellow envelope is handed to our protagonist, Adam, aka Werewolf of London, David Naughton. Flash forward to the next scene, and all these college students are gathering into an apartment or a dorm room, and we're introduced to Leon. Leon! He is the creator of the Great All-Nighter, the Game Master, if you will.
Allow me to explain why I've gathered you all here. The 5 of you are invited, more accurately challenged, to compete in my latest creation, the ultimate game, which I call the Great All-Nighter. Each of you will act as a team captain and select your own crew to participate in the game, which will be played in the following manner. Sunshine? At the onset, each team will be given a complicated clue, which, when solved, will lead them to a location somewhere in the city. Once there, the team must use its skill and wit to obtain the next clue. That clue leads them to the next location, and so forth. The game will begin Friday at sunset and continue on through the night until one team is the first to arrive at a final location, the finish line. There, the winning team will receive a trophy and, more importantly, prove to the other teams that theirs is the best group of all. Well, I'll see you all Friday. Are there any questions?
Explains the game in detail with a PowerPoint presentation. They all just laugh it off. But he knows that they all hate each other in some way, so they're all going to compete in this. In fact, everyone has color-coordinated their vehicles to what team they are. Coincidence? Knowing Leon, the Game Master, I doubt it. So Adam is like a guidance counselor or some kind of a student resident advisor, and he's advising or guiding Flinch. Hey, come on, Flinch. And he works there with a girl that he's smitten with named Laura, and he's been working there a long time with her at the college, and she talks him into competing in the Great All-Nighter to be an example for the students. So he recruits Flinch and Marvin, a token black dude who just happens to have a yellow Jeep, just that matches the team's yellow color. And that's where our story takes off. They all come up with reasons to enter the game and beat one another. The sorority girls and the bookish intellects don't like the jocks, and the jocks always are antagonizing people, so there's a vengeance thing there. The most hilarious group is the blue team, and how do we know that? Because every time they come onto the screen, there's a total overture of Harold and the blue team, Harold's girlfriend, Lucille, Emilio and Barf, and Blade. But they're gonna cheat their way to the finish line and stick it to the yellow team. And the reason why Harold is Great All-Nighter is to please his dad. His dad sees the guy on the yellow team, Adam, as like a, how he puts it, enterprising, such a hopeful young man. So obviously Harold's dad wants Adam to be his son instead of Harold, which is messed up, and gives Harold, who has given him a computer to win and a brand new van, the Great All-Nighter. So the scavenger hunt through Los Angeles begins. First clue, of course, was the C is reversed. SSI Tali is mixed up in blind. And a bunch of numbers, which takes them to the observatory, because it's C-less stars. So they're off to the observatory first. The observatory, able to find the coordinates, and they point the telescope, and the next clue is find the 8800 keys, which takes them to a piano shop or piano museum. Where they find the clue, and it is the Pabst Blue Ribbon beer song.
Wait a second, I know that song anywhere. I got Pabst Blue Ribbon on my mind. It's the Pabst Blue Ribbon beer song. The next clue must be at the Pabst Brewery!
It takes them to the next destination is the Pabst Blue Ribbon Brewery, which is a great classic, probably one of the best scenes in the movie.
Beautiful.
A little foreshadowing, if you will, from Teen Wolf, Michael J. Fox, who is Adam's brother that they find ran away, and is now tagging along on the Great All-Nighter, and is trying to buy beer, just like he did in Teen Wolf. Shenanigans and tomfoolery keep all the teams behind, and then they catch up, and the green team's dealing with a drunk team member after the Pabst Blue Ribbon Brewery, the meat machine, which is the green team, that's the job. MEATMACHINE, meat machine, meat machine. Yeah. And from the Pabst Brewery, Mr. Carson's obese male child. Mr. Carson, Johnny Carson. And obese male child will be Johnny's Fat Boy Burgers, which is a spoof or a parody of the Big Boy, which you all know, the Big Boy restaurants. So they go to the Big Boy restaurant, where they're directed to look in between the two giant melons. So of course they order a bunch of melons when they're supposed to be looking at the waitress, who has two giant melons with a necklace around her neck that reads, "Hug me." And scrambled is Huge M, which is the Big M on Miniature Golf World, which they go to a miniature golf course next. So they play through a round of mini golf. Where they get an envelope after they beat the miniature golf game, and that takes them to a pinball city. Pinball City.
It's easy.
But what is it? It's a lookout off some road or something. Means Cherry Point. How'd you get that? Well, it's one of a chair. That's chair. One of an E. That's E. One of a pin. That's point. Chair, E, point. Cherry Point. What about the ball?
Where that's where they encounter Pee Wee Herman. Paul Rubens is the pinball proprietor, dressed as a cowboy, and has a great scene.
All right! I think it's time we all started acting like adults. Let's all sit down and discuss this calmly, rationally, and intelligently. Okay?
Congratulations. The finish line is somewhere in the Bonaventure.
Once you find Midnight Madness and it starts to get to you, only then will you know about a Fagga Beefy.
Notebook paper.
If you're the kind of shopper who goes to Zare with only one thing in mind,
Notebook paper.
This one's pretty, honey.
I like that one, Mommy.
you could be missing out on some great back-to-school looks.
Notebook paper. Notebook
These
paper.
prices are great, Alice.
Dad, I've got to have these high tops.
What's wrong with low tops?
They're like yours, Dad. Notebook
Sooner or later,
How
it'll hit
cute
you.
and cheap.
So why wait?
Get a good look at there.
Hey, it's my movie, Back to School. Now on video. I think I'll see it again.
That's what I call marine biology.
Rodney, take out the garbage.
I already took out the garbage.
Then go out and keep an eye on it.
Oh, enough of this. I'm going back to school.
Rodney, what about the garbage?
Oh, you cooked it. You take it out.
Rent a laugh now. Rent Back to School. Now on home video.
Books are the real treasures of the world.
Quiet, numbskulls, I'm broadcasting.
That's gonna about wrap it up for this edition of the GPF Podcast Show. As always, thank you for tuning in and tuning out with us. And join us next time. We'll bring you episode 11. Because that comes after 10.
I could write a book about what you don't know.
Of the Garbage Pail Flix Podcast Show.
Touch that remote.
AKA
Or keep kicking shell on
a little podcast that could. Or masturbation across the nation. I don't have to remind you to like, share, and subscribe. Follow us. Until next time. End transmission.
Skeletor to King Randor. Skeletor to King Randor. Come in, you royal boob.
Hi there. Are you a large person, pleasantly plump, a little on the hefty side perhaps? Well, let's face it. Are you fat? When you go jogging, do you leave potholes? When you make love, do you have to give directions? At the zoo, do elephants throw you peanuts? Do you look at a menu and say, okay? Well, now you can eat all you want, because at Thornton Mellon's Tall and Fat stores, we've got you covered. That's right, fine woolen, and woolen blend suits and sport coats in all the larger sizes. Husky, stout, extra stout, and the new Hindenburg line. And for you ladies, we have caftans, moo-moos, and our own exclusive A-frame in all colors and patterns. Yes, we have miles and miles of fabric. So take it from me, Thornton Mellon. If you want to look thin, you hang out with fat people.
Thornton Mellon's Tall and Fat, with 150 locations across America.